What is good, YouTube? Nostalgia here, and today I have the next episode of Tips and Tricks for you. I've been talking about doing this video for a little while now. I mentioned it in my archery class guide and also my recent update video that I posted just the other day. So I've been meaning to get around to doing this for a while, and yeah, I finally got my ass around to doing it, and here it is. So in this video I'm just going to be talking about the difference between stable and unstable weapons, what they are, what they do, what effect they have on your battling, whether you be fighting a monster or a player, etc. And just basically talk about what it is, so that by the end of this video you should be next to an expert on knowing about stable and unstable weapons. Cool, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a couple of examples of stable and unstable just so you guys get a feel for what I'm going to be talking about in the video. I'll go over to a weapon that I know is really stable, so if I click Ceremonial Legion Blade, how to tell if what a weapon stability is these numbers here. Now if you have a look at 113 to 139, ignore the 2.0 speed, ignore the 63 DPS, excuse me, and ignore all of the stats down here. It is purely, if this little box goes away, it is purely these 113 to 139. Those numbers there are the only things you need to worry about and look at when judging the stability of a weapon. Now basically what these numbers are they are the weapon's damage. This is its speed, I don't know what that is, and the others are just your enhancement stats, but this here is your weapon's damage. Over here is your weapon's maximum damage counter, and here is your weapon's minimum damage counter. Basically what that means is a weapon like this with 113 to 139, if I work out the difference between this and this, it should be, what is it, 26? My maths is really bad recently, I've been on holidays for too long. But there is a 26 difference between these two, which is really, really small in the great scheme of things in this game. I know weapons that have got an over 200 difference between these two stats here, so 26 in comparison is really small, which means you stand much more of a chance of hitting your maximum weapon damage when fighting a monster. As treat this little hyphen here as a probability. So on one end of the scale you've got 113, at the other end you've got 139, and all of this in between here, all the numbers in between those two, so there'll be 26 numbers in between here. And every time you're attacking, you're randomly choosing one of these numbers to hit, and that's the damage that you're going to do. So as you can see, if there's a really small amount in between here, you stand a much better chance of hitting your maximum weapon damage a lot more and dealing consistently decent damage, especially if this is 113 to 139, it's over 100, it's decent damage. It's not like it's 40 to 50, where your maximum damage is going to be doing like 900. This can do some pretty good damage with spells used and all of this stuff consistently. So stable weapons do consistent damage and stand a much greater chance of doing maximum weapon damage. If that made sense, I hope it did. I don't know what I sound like when I'm saying this, so hopefully that made sense. But yes, that is what a stable weapon is. If I go over to a weapon I know is extremely unstable, so Dragon Blade of Nogath, I'll scroll up a bit so I can keep flicking between the two. Cool. So Dragon Blade of Nogath, look at these down here, 12 to 240. That is a 200 and... Oh my gosh, my math is so bad. A 228 difference between these two stats. Ignoring speed, DPS, and your enhancement stats again, just looking at these numbers, 12 to 240. So instantly you'll notice that this weapon's maximum damage counter is a lot greater than the Ceremonial Legion Blade. There's like an 80 difference between them or more. It is quite significantly higher. And also its minimum damage counter is also a lot lower. So this weapon is a bit extreme, when there's stable, there's unstable, and then there's Dragon Blade and Dragon Fire, and those sort of blades that are just so unstable, you hardly ever choose them, because the probability of you hitting maximum weapon damage or doing any really great damage is really quite slim. But nonetheless, when you're using spells and you want to YOLO it and you want to really hit some massive crits and stuff, these are the weapons that are relatively fun to use, especially if you're in a party with several other people and your damage in particular doesn't make too much of a difference. Then by all means, jam one of these really unstable weapons and see what sort of crits you can be getting. as you know, it'll be mostly luck based, and that is also where your luck enhancement comes in. That's another reason why I have luck, because it gives you a better chance of hitting your higher weapon damage. Sorry for that. And can sort of counteract this probability. But unstable weapons, to conclude what I was just saying, unstable weapons have a much greater difference between these two stats here, and stable weapons like Ceremonial Legion Blade have a much smaller number between these two stats here. And that is what stable and unstable weapons are. I hope this helped you. I hope that you, watching this video, you have a much better understanding of what stable and unstable are. It's not a massively complicated topic. It's basically just looking at a couple of numbers, working out what the difference between them are, and then I can just glimpse at this. I know this is a stable weapon. If I click on Frost Reaver, glimpsing at that, it's a very unstable weapon. Clicking on Painsaw, that is a very stable weapon. If I use just a couple more examples, Purified Claw of Nolgath, what's this? It's quite an unstable weapon. Facebreaker, very stable weapon. Tainted Claw, unstable. And then I'm going into armors, which obviously, as you'll know, do not have any of that. But going back to what I was saying, so would you use this? Yes, this is a very useful thing to know when choosing weapons for a particular class. If I'm using Chrono Commander, well, it depends what I'm killing, but generally if you're using, say, a Vought, like Vindicator of Day, or an Alpha Omega, against a boss and I'm in a party, I will jam an unstable weapon just to see what sort of crits I can get, hopefully getting lucky at the same time. But yes, this info here is very useful when deciding what weapons to use, where, why, and how. It's quite punchy, but cool. Yeah, once again, I hope this video helped. And just as I conclude the video, I actually get signed out. I hope this video helped you. I hope you found it useful. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comment section below. Don't forget to rate and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.